BET Tonight.
Good evening and welcome to BET Tonight. I'm Stephen Hill, and this evening on the special edition of BET Tonight, we take a look back at the life of Aaliyah, the R&B sensation whose sudden death shocked the music industry and fans across the nation. You'll see exclusive videos shot by BET in the Bahamas on the day of her death.
Barbara?
Thanks, Steve. It was a fairy tale-like farewell for singing sensation Aaliyah. A throng of thousands lined the streets of New York City to mourn her death. Among those adoring fans, an A-list of famous friends and loved ones. BET's Aaliyah Lewis was there.
A horse-drawn carriage led the way, carrying Aaliyah's casket to a nearby church. Her family was close behind as fans lined the streets, some overwhelmed by the loss.
She was like an angel. She was just like an angel. And I loved her. Like I never met her, but felt like she was a sister or something. That's just how she touched her fans. And I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna miss her.
Her life came to an end last Saturday in a fiery plane crash in the Bahamas. The plane went down right after takeoff from Marsh Harbor Airport, killing all 9 people aboard.
She meant a lot. You know, I mean, when her first CD came out, I told people she was going to be a star, and a lot of people did not believe me. 3 albums later, movies later, look at the impact she has on everybody. How many 22-year-olds you know who have that impact? And I really feel bad for the younger generation because that's a beautiful role model that they had.
Those attending the service represented some of the most prominent names in hip-hop. Among them, P. Diddy, Usher, Jay-Z. Outside the church, Aaliyah's mother released the first of 22 white doves, one for each year of Aaliyah's life.
The funeral itself was a private service, but just a few blocks away, the public outpouring has been overwhelming.
More than 800 people showed up in just the first hour of this all-day tribute to Aaliyah, including one woman whose 4-month-old daughter carries the singer's name.
I named her after Aaliyah, mainly because Aaliyah was like the most beautiful singer that I ever had a chance to see perform, ever.
I love Aaliyah, big fan. Her production, her music, undeniably excellent, close to perfect. I just basically came down here because I love her, and I had to see her one more time before she left.
Elliot Lewis, BET News.
8 others died along with Aaliyah when the plane went down near Marsh Harbor Airport in the Bahamas last Saturday. The singer's own personal hairstylist and another stylist were among those killed. They too are being remembered tonight by loved ones who say their young lives were cut too short. BET's Stephanie Frederick with that story tonight.
It still seems like a bad dream. It just seems unreal. It definitely seems unreal.
When Aaliyah's plane went down in the Bahamas last weekend, Charles Henderson lost not only his little brother, but also his roommate and good friend. 29-year-old Eric Foreman and 34-year-old Anthony Dodd were part of Aaliyah's entourage, among those killed in the crash. This photo captured the entire team only minutes before boarding that fateful flight.
I knew my brother was with her.
Yeah.
And if my brother was with her, Anthony was with her. I knew that because they sit there and they don't go, they're like inseparable when they work together.
Like Aaliyah, Eric and Anthony's careers were on the rise. They were hairstylists to the stars, considered the best in the business. Even Aaliyah called them her glam squad.
There's so many people, and over the years, they've done music videos and commercials. Very creative people, both of them. And they seem to feed off of each other's creativity.
Eric and Anthony were also lifelong friends. Strangely enough, this wasn't the first tragedy they'd suffered together.
Both of them were shot at the same time with one gunshot and a drive-by shooting. And to their death, they still had the buckshots in them.
Family members and friends spent last evening watching videos of Eric, Aaliyah, and Anthony during happier times.
One thing I can say about them being gone that comforts me is they went doing what they love to do.
Next week, Eric and Anthony will be eulogized together.
They're going down as brothers.
Because they were.
In Los Angeles, Stephanie Frederick, BET News.
Officials in the Bahamas continue to investigate the cause of the accident. They now say it appears the plane was overweight, possibly by several hundred pounds when it took off. For the latest information on the investigation, you can log on to BET.com. A controversy is brewing on the first day of the UN Conference Against Racism. This morning in South Africa, Reverend Jesse Jackson announced that Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat.
Fatima is a choreographer who worked with Aaliyah and was at the video shoot this weekend. Kevin Taylor is a BET producer, and he was also in the Bahamas this weekend. And joining us on the phone is Barry Hankerson. He is Aaliyah's uncle and the CEO of Blackground Records, Aaliyah's record company. Good evening to you all.
Good evening, Stephen.
On this sad evening. Mr. Hankerson, I'd like to start with you, since you've known, you knew Aaliyah for the longest. Take us back to what she was like as the 11-year-old girl on stage with Gladys Knight in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, Aaliyah, ever since a little girl, illustrated a desire to perform. And my sister, her mom, Diane, and her dad, Michael, always promoted both of their children, Rashad's and her desires to be in the arts. Her brother's a very accomplished writer and just graduated from Hofstra with tremendous grades in writing and in literature. And they always allowed their children to feel and to get an opportunity to profess what they felt. And Aaliyah loved to sing. I can remember when she was about 9 or 10 years old, I was representing a producer named Michael Powell, who at that time was producing Anita Baker. And she sung a song for Michael, and when she finished singing the song, it was My Funny Valentine. Michael turned to me and said, "My gosh, she sings in perfect pitch. She never went off a note. She had a focus that was unbelievable, even at that young age."
And that focus extended even to her schoolwork. You graduated the 4.0, I understand.
Yes, she had that ability and that desire that she never wanted to miss school, and she was very focused in anything that she felt was self-enriching. She was a person that was like a sponge to anything that made her better or challenged her, and performing and singing was a challenge, and Aaliyah just sucked it up and gave all she could back.
Fatima, you were instrumental in kind of fostering the dance side of that. Did she take it as a challenge to both sing and dance at the same time?
It never was really a challenge for Aaliyah. Aaliyah was just naturally talented in both areas. It's so funny just working with Aaliyah. It's like choreographing a dancer, because she's such a fabulous dancer and singer that she was really the perfect artist to work with.
And what were some of her biggest challenges when were there combinations that were difficult for her and she persevered through?
Oh, definitely. But what I loved about Aaliyah is that, it would push her to do certain things, but she was always very respectful to her family in saying, "Ooh, Fatima, I don't know if my mom would feel comfortable with me doing that." And I'd say, "Okay, let's change it." So we always kind of had this going joke of approving steps with Diane. So I really enjoyed her relationship with her family, which is sometimes what you find rare in an artist. Aaliyah really had a great relationship with her family and a lot of respect and for her mother and what they said.
We'll talk more about her family, and there's more BET Tonight ahead. We'll continue our tribute to Aaliyah with DMX and Angie Stone. Stay with us.
This. I'm tired of arguing, girl. I'm tired. I'm tired of arguing, girl. I'm tired of arguing.
That, of course, is a slice of We Need a Resolution from the album Aaliyah, released just 6 weeks ago. Welcome back to BET Tonight. I'm Stephen Hill. We're paying tribute to a rising star who was tragically killed this weekend in a plane crash in the Bahamas. Aaliyah Dana Houghton burst onto the music scene 7 years ago at the age of 15. She was an instant success, and in a recent interview, she said she was living out her dream. News correspondent Andre Shoel has more on the life of Aaliyah.
R&B diva Aaliyah was destined for stardom. Her name is Swahili for Most Exalted One, a prophecy she would later live out. Born in Brooklyn, her family then moved to Detroit when she turned 5. Early on, she showed signs of becoming a certified superstar, and then at the age of 15, she burst onto the music scene with her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. The album sold 1 million copies, proving the sultry singer had the Midas touch. R&B superstar R. Kelly produced many of her initial hits. But when documents surfaced showing the then 15-year-old Aaliyah and 25-year-old R. Kelly had just gotten married, it was clear there was more to this artistic pairing. The marriage was later annulled, but neither Aaliyah nor Kelly commented about the relationship. As the controversy subsided, her career seemed to take off. Her second album, One in a Million, defied the sophomore jinx. The producing talents of Timbaland and Missy Elliott helped her to refine her trademark blend of edgy beats and booming bass.
Y'all know One in a Million, right?
No doubt.
That's like,
no
yeah,
doubt.
That like, right there, like put her like vocally on a whole nother level.
Years before Aaliyah made her silver screen debut, she showed off her talents on soundtracks for Anastasia and Dr. Dolittle. In 1999, she was nominated for a Grammy for Are You That Somebody, and once again for Try Again from Romeo Must Die, a movie which positioned her as a true box office up-and-comer.
You must be a very dangerous man.
Are you scared?
Nah, don't take this personal, but I've been around a lot more dangerous guys than you.
Her budding acting career was just beginning to bloom when she landed roles in 2 upcoming sequels for The Matrix and the Anne Rice vampire thriller, Queen of the Damned.
It takes a bit of acting, you know, to do a video, to get on stage and perform. You know, you kind of become another person, in a sense, just doing that. So I think it's kind of easy for people to make that transition into film when they're already comfortable in a video and on stage.
Her latest album, the self-titled Aaliyah, debuted at #2 on the Billboard charts last month. As seen in this exclusive footage, in the moments just before the fatal crash that cut short her life, Aaliyah had just finished shooting a video for her new single, Rock the Boat.
I feel so blessed because everything that I've always wanted is happening to me, and I feel it's happening right on schedule.
Aaliyah was only beginning to tap her tremendous talent when tragedy ended her life. And while she would never know the full range of her ability, she remained grateful for the life she was fortunate enough to live.
I've got a beautiful family, and I've got a career. I am truly blessed, and I thank God for his blessings every single chance I get.
Andre Shoel, BET News.
Her name, Aaliyah, and she would correct you if you got it wrong. She would say, just start by saying Muhammad Aaliyah, and that'll get it right. Mr. Hankerson, I'd like to come back to you. First of all, our condolences from BET and everyone here on the loss in your family, and your being with us at this time. Surely appreciate it.
You said it.
She said, you know, it was said that she was sweet, but street, but sweet. What do you think she meant by that?
Who said that? Aaliyah said that?
Yeah, Aaliyah said that about herself. Street but sweet.
I think that's the quality that if you're around Aaliyah for any period of time, she had an engaging quality that just made you relax. Everybody that got to know Aaliyah wanted to possess her. Everybody that met her wanted to talk to her longer than they thought. Anyone that got around Aaliyah, you just saw parts of charisma that was so quiet. It was a quiet charisma that seeped through if she looked at you and talked to you. And I think that must be what she was talking about. And Stephen, I would also like to thank everybody in earshot of this broadcast whenever it happens for thanking them for helping Aaliyah realize so much in her life in 7 years. She's done films and albums and soundtracks and so many other opportunities that she's been a party to. Everybody that helped to play a record, that played a video, Fatima, who's like family with us as well. So many people that helped when she was very young and tender and through till this very tragic experience were there with her. And all the families that lost a loved one that was on the plane with them, people we all know and we all love so much. Just want to thank everyone who helped and just pray for everybody's family. It's not just our family. It's so many other loved ones that are distraught tonight with the loss.
And Mr. Hankerson, once again, thank you very, very much for joining us, and our thoughts and prayers go with you and your family in this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joining us now from New York is R&B artist Angie Stone. She was a friend and had the opportunity to work with Aaliyah. Welcome, Ms. Stone.
Thank you.
Now, you worked with her on the Freedom soundtrack for Freedom for Panther. Is that correct?
Yeah. Years ago, I was called in to assist Dallas Austin on working with about 300 women, all of them superstars in their own right. And Aaliyah was one of the women that I worked with. And I just have to say that just as I recollect the day that we started to record, I watched her come in a black leather jacket and a cap and some shades. And with all the other females that really were vying for position, she was a sweet, humble girl that wasn't running for first place. She just belonged, and I watched her go sit quietly and wait her turn, and it was that moment that I realized that she was special. I can't forget it, and once we did interact, it's a spirituality that if you watch with a spiritual eye, that you pick up on the energy of a person, and one that was so consistent. She was consistent. If it's anything that I have to say about Aaliyah from that time up until right now, I saw recently we used the same makeup artists and hair people that was also a part of that crash. I can tell you that she was consistent and she was never egotistical. She was a beautiful spirit that is truly missed.
Absolutely. I think you really got with her spirit is really what was absolutely beautiful. And we do not want to we would be remiss if we did not mention the other people on the plane, and we will be doing that later on in the broadcast. Okay. There's more BET tonight coming up. Next, what went wrong with the plane that night? We'll talk with a pilot who may have some answers. Stay with us.
Dust yourself off and try again. Can dust it off and try again, try again. If you don't succeed.
That, of course, Aaliyah from Try Again. That was from the movie Romeo Must Die, her first major acting role. Welcome back to a special edition of BET Tonight. We're paying tribute to the life of one of hip-hop's rising stars who was tragically killed this weekend. Tonight, fans and friends of Aaliyah are mourning her untimely death. With us right now, Kevin Taylor, BET producer, who was down in the Bahamas documenting the video shoot. Good evening, Kevin.
Good evening, Mr. Hill.
What was the atmosphere like down in the Bahamas?
The atmosphere down in Abaco was complete family. I heard Barry and both Fatima talk about it. I was really taken with how much this group was a family. Aaliyah, Chris Maldonado, and Eric Foreman, and Fatima, Derek Lee, how they were just a family. You know, in the down times where you would expect the groups to separate, the star over here and, you know, the people who work for them over here. And that was the time when they got really real, where they cut up in the pool, where you could see Fatima over to the side, you know, going over stuff with Aaliyah, and it was just, oh, it was just such a family atmosphere. I was really surprised about it. After 11 years in this business, I was surprised to see how close that group of people were.
Yeah, we were looking at some of the exclusive BET video just a moment ago that you shot while you were down there. Now, from what I understand, you were actually supposed to be on that plane. Is that correct?
Yeah, Gina Smith, God rest her soul, who worked for Blackground, came to me late Wednesday evening and said the charter is just a little too full, and I know I promised you complete access, but if you don't mind, would you take a commercial flight? And the change was so last minute that my itinerary change is actually written in Gina Smith's hand. And it's a devastating recollection, because these are not just names for me. I know who Gina Smith is. I know who Anthony Dodd is. I've known Christopher Maldonado for years, and so it's completely overwhelming. And then to throw in there that, but by the grace of God, myself and my film crew would have been on that same plane, is something that I really, at this moment, don't know what to do with.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Kevin, and all the best to you. It's a tragic situation,
indeed,
no doubt. We're being joined on the phone now by DMX. Thanks for being here.
Pleasure, man.
I know this is a hard time for all of us. Tell us how you and Aaliyah got together on Back in One Piece, also from Romeo Must Die.
Well, but we met on tour, you know, and her and Joel Silver, you know, came and asked me if I wanted to be in the movie, you know, and I was always a fan of Aaliyah. You know, so it was like a pleasure for me. I was like, you know, you're damn right I want to be in it. You know, but we worked on the movie together, and, you know, we did the song, you know, and she was like a beautiful person, man. Beautiful spirit, good energy, you know.
Talk a bit about what it was like working with her as an actor as well.
Well, we only did that one scene, you know what I'm saying? But she was a very talented actress. Very talented, you know? I was actually shocked, you know, when I saw the outcome of the movie. So that was like, you know, my first big movie, so I was kind of nervous, you know?
I understand you wrote a poem for her as well. Was that during the movie?
Huh?
Was that during the movie?
No. That was, today, actually.
Could you share a little bit of that with us?
Yes.
Please.
It reads, Dearest Aaliyah, we didn't know each other long or see each other much, but we became instant and sincere friends. I have trouble accepting the fact that you're gone, so I won't. It would be like we went without seeing each other for a while. I thank you for the movie opportunities and for the chance to work with you. Because you truly were an angel on earth. See you soon. And in my own special way, I love you. You'll always be with us, for me and my wife, Tashira.
X, thank you very much for sharing that with us.
All right.
Very much. All the best, sir. We'll be right back after this.
Football season.
The roar of the crowd.
Perfect time to get a...
Baby, I can't help to think you might not make it home to eat. I barely sleep. Would you pick up a phone and call me at home and let me know you ain't in some heat? And don't go crying, you're grown. You know I'm looking out for you, 'cause you be looking out for me. Yo, you can go.
Welcome back to BET Tonight. First of all, we'd like to thank DMX for sharing that obviously extremely personal poem with us and with you. The name Aaliyah is Swahili for highest, most exalted one. It's the name the singer tried to live up to in her career. But while she was the most famous person on the plane, she by no means was the only one on the plane. And we'd like to pay tribute to those who perished with her, unfortunately. Scott Gallen, who was 41, Keith Wallace, who was 49, Douglas Kratz, Eric Foreman, Gina Smith, Anthony Dodd, Christopher Maldonado, and the pilot El Maradel were also on that plane. I'd like to go to Fatima. Fatima, you were familiar and friends with pretty much everyone on the plane. Tell us a little bit about the people on the plane.
Well, Eric Foreman, her hairstylist, and Chris Maldonado, her makeup artist, we all just kind of always hung out with Aaliyah, you know. Gina, who worked with the record label, was the sweetest woman alive. I mean, everybody there, like they said, we were just family. Whenever we were together, we were just cracking jokes, and we all had our little sayings that we would do, and we always had so much fun with Aaliyah. Keith Wallace was also on the plane. He was, he's Diane's best friend. And Keith was normally with Aaliyah when we'd be in rehearsals together, and whenever we would travel together. And Keith made the trip because Aaliyah's mom wasn't able to, and it's just really a shame to see all that creative talent go to waste, that just amazing creative energy all gone. But, you know, I was talking to the dancers, and we were all talking about, you know, trying to keep our spirits up, talking about how, you know, Eric Foreman is probably in heaven right now telling God, can he get some new wings, because this one's a little, you know, a little chip right here. And Chris and all them are watching us all cry like, honey, Miss Thing, they gonna be here soon, don't worry. Like, you know, we all just sat around, laughed, like, at least she's with her boys and she's with her crew.
That is the truth. And one thing that keeps coming up in our conversations about Aaliyah and those who knew her is family. She was very, very close to her family. Talk about Aaliyah's bond to the people and how she kept her people kind of close-knit.
You know, I've never seen a mother and daughter relationship like Aaliyah and Diane. Aaliyah and Diane were best friends and inseparable. And Diane is just the sweetest woman in the world, and her daughter was a reflection of very good upbringing and just a sweet person. Aaliyah didn't do anything without checking with her family and checking in with her parents. Aaliyah would come and spend the night at my house, and she would always check in with her mom and let her know where she is. And I would always speak to her mom and give her the itinerary of what we're about to do. And it was just that kind of family, you know. We wanted Aaliyah, it was a beach video, so we were like, Aaliyah, you should wear a bathing suit and shorts and da-da-da. And she says, Fatima, Diane says she doesn't want me wearing any shorts. And that was the end of that. No one even questioned it. If Diane says Aaliyah is to not wear any shorts, or Aaliyah didn't feel comfortable because Diane didn't want her to, that was it. It was no rebelling against the family. They were a unit, and I really respect that bond that they have.
If you could tell us a little bit about about the video that was being shot in the Bahamas during this past weekend, while we see a minute of it.
We were shooting the video for Rock the Boat, her second single off the album. And we were shooting the video with Hype Williams. We did a little bit in Miami against the green screen. She did some stuff in a pool. And then we were in Bahamas shooting the dance, and we actually built a stage on a boat, and her and 9 dancers all danced together on this boat, and we went out. And you know what? We had so much fun. We would have to wake up like 3 in the morning to go through hair and makeup to catch the sunrise, but Aaliyah had so much fun. I have pictures of the actual video shoot, and everyone, we had a blast. Me and Aaliyah we sat down on the beach and talked, and just talked about life and vacationing and everything, and we just, you know, it was really a great time.
Did she enjoy her time in the spotlight? Did she enjoy her place in the spotlight?
Aaliyah definitely enjoyed her time in the spotlight, but Aaliyah was the kind of artist that, you know, you can walk down the street with her and nobody recognized her, and she didn't go out trying to seek attention at all. She was just a regular person at all times, and if someone happened to recognize her, she'd stop, give an autograph, but she was just sweet at all times.
Angie, that goes
perfect.
Angie, that goes back to what you were talking about her spirit and her waiting her turn. Talk more about that.
Yeah, quite a few times I'd run into her at the Nico or Le Meridian Hotel, and she was consistent. That's the only word I can use to really describe her demeanor. Yeah. She would embrace me with a warmness and let me know that I'm still the same Aaliyah, and how you doing, girl? And you know, it was just a very warm, pleasant spirit. I can only say the one thing that I used to, you know, want more than anything that I recently saw is more of her eyes, because you only saw one eye all the time. And when I looked at Aaliyah on 106 and the close-ups that they got on her eyes, it was the first time, you know, that I could really see and hear and feel the spirituality on a full spectrum. And she was absolutely glowing and gorgeous, beautiful inside out. And I mean, the times that I ran into her at the studio, she was sweet. I mean, I can't even express without saying how important over a 7-year period of becoming, you know, budding into what she really is a superstar. Right.
Right. Kevin, you've worked over about that same 7-year period.
Exactly.
How did you see her grow over the past 7 years?
Angie and I were just talking about that, you know, because being in this industry this long, I remember the 15-year Aaliyah when she came to do Aaliyah. I'm sorry, when she came to do Video Soul, and how she walked in as an assured but kind of demure young girl, and to have seen her since we've been here in New York. And I remember the first time she walked into BET with the cream outfit on and the hair, and I just really was overwhelmed at how stunning she had become. And she smiled, and it became something that, I mean, again, it was Dorothy Dandridge-esque. It was Halle Berry. You knew she was destined to be, because she already was. The Aaliyah, you know, was not a name picked by accident.
And I pride her parents mostly, because you have to have the love of Christ first to instill that beauty that would transcend all egos and all of the desires to want to be on top, just settling for being comfortable and doing whatever it is that you do best. And I think that she did it above and beyond the call of the word best.
And she made people who were around her feel extremely comfortable as well.
No question.
That was one of the best things she did.
And Barry said that statement earlier about how you just wanted to possess her. You know, Common said in the song once, it doesn't take all day to recognize sunshine. And having spent those 4 days with her, and for somebody who could get up at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning and be like, all right, camera, turn off for a second. Mother's not here yet. And she would just glow it in the dark of the not yet morning sunrise. I could see that she was beautiful, and you could see and feel the bond as Fatima would rub her back, as Eric and Chris would do her face, how they woke one another up. They were a family in every sense of the word. And if Diane is responsible for instilling that love in that circle, then as Angie said, her family has truly done its job, and I was overwhelmed. It
comes around to how important family was to her, and
absolutely,
and to Diane and Michael, her parents, and Rashad, her brother, our deepest condolences.
Absolutely.
We'll be back with more BET Tonight in just a moment.
Hey, just because you're grown up, you don't have to act so grown up. There you go. Yeah, man, that's better. Yeah, baby. Oh, try this Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Think it's kid stuff? No, it's cinnamon sugar swirled over squares of wheat and rice. It's good, ain't it? See, there's a new you already. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's the adult thing to do. No, we don't think so.
Everyone will jump at the chance to save big this Labor Day weekend. It's the big weekend sale at Sears, where all Levi's jeans are on sale for everyone in the family. The big weekend sale, only at Sears. You'll flip over the huge savings.
Sub-Zero flavor inside, delicious cold minty shell outside. The gum that puts your breath on ice for a long time. Dentine Ice, nothing's colder than ice.
Meet Shantae.
Ooh, men are so predictable.
You tell Miss Thing that you know the 411 on the fellas.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but beep.
I play a character by the name of Shantae Smith. She's an executive who thinks that she has the game of love programmed.
Now, Keith with his fine self, and he's a professional man. Big.
I'm sorry for noticing his feet.
What I do to get Shantae back is I play the game a little bit with her. You know, I go ahead and play her game. I let her have her way. And, you know, and then when I find out that doesn't work, I listen to my friend, Tony.
Pretty soon, women are just gonna be pulling these hand trips on us, and you know what's gonna happen? We gonna be the ones changing the diapers. They gonna be sitting on our couch, watching football on our Sunday, dog. That's what's gonna happen. You tripping? This is much bigger than you, man.
Bigger than me?
This is way bigger than you. Woo!
She was one in a million.
BET pays tribute to Aaliyah on 106 in Park. Log on to BET.com for ongoing coverage. Saturday at 6 p.m.
Today, NFL Sunday Ticket is going to give you any game you want. Today is Sunday. Today is your day. Have a nice day.
Introducing the best movie value on DirecTV, the Stars Super PAC. It's #1 in new hit movies. Disney's The Kid, Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, U571, movies you won't get anywhere else but the Stars Super PAC. You'll get 12 different movie channels for only $10 more per month with any Total Choice package. Get the best movie value with the Stars Super PAC on DirecTV. Call now, 1-800-547-4DTV. The Stars Super PAC. It's #1 in new hit movies.
When Missy really like gave her a foundation, like when y'all know 1 in a Million, right?
No doubt.
That's like,
no doubt.
That like right there, like put her like vocally on a whole nother level. So it's like Missy like say, like here, rockabye baby.
Okay.
Now you can run.
All right.
That, of course, super producer Timbaland along with Missy. Timbaland was on 106 in Park earlier today in a very tearful tribute to Aaliyah. Welcome back. We are continuing our tribute to Aaliyah. One of my favorite Aaliyah stories is that in 1998, she was tapped to sing the Oscar-nominated song Journey to the Past from the movie Anastasia. Now, people usually call up Gucci or Versace to find their dresses and suits and tuxes for the Oscars. Where did Aaliyah go? Aaliyah went to a mall outside her hometown Detroit and found a dress that was absolutely stunning and absolutely perfect for that night. We're here with Fatima, who's choreographed, who's worked with Aaliyah a number of times, choreographed, and was with her in the Bahamas. Talk about how Aaliyah, as glamorous she was and as provocative as sometimes her image was really just she was a regular old, like she put it, street but sweet.
Regular old.
Street but sweet is the way she described herself.
Definitely. She's, Aaliyah was just really, truly an amazing human being, a great talent, a fabulous friend at all times. And she surrounded herself, you know, around her family and friends. And we were a crew that hung out, and really, I just always enjoyed working with Aaliyah. And as for me as a choreographer, she was just perfect because Aaliyah and I were like synchronized swimming whenever we danced together.
What do you attribute her ability, because there aren't many there who can sing as well as she did and dance, you know, while doing it at the same time. What do you attribute that to? That's
just natural talent. Aaliyah just has, she just had it. She was a diva in all right. She was a diva without all the extra baggage that comes along with divas. You know, she wasn't demanding. She wasn't, we were on the last shoot we did for More Than the Woman. I said, Aaliyah, you hungry? She's like, I am. I'm so hungry. And I'm like, Lily, what do you want? She's like, oh, I don't want anybody to go out of their way. I was like, girl, what you want? What do you want to eat? I said, Roscoe's? She's like, yeah. And so I ran to the producer's office. I was like, Aaliyah wants Roscoe's. You know, it was just very that. Like, I had to be that diva for her. Like, well, look, you can get whatever you want. You want Mr. Childs flown in? We'll have Mr. Childs flown in. And she's like, okay.
Fantastic. Sounds like she was a lot of fun and had goals. What do you think her goals were, and what had she not accomplished that she wanted to accomplish?
Aaliyah, I believe, was just going with the natural flow of her life. She was very excited about this album. She felt like it was her best album yet. She always wanted to become a stronger dancer. Aaliyah would be in the rehearsal studio every time. The dancers were tripping like, is she gonna be here all the time like this? Aaliyah would be there all the time. If Aaliyah was late, she would call me and say, Fatima, I'm running a little late. You do not get that from artists. If Aaliyah was not feeling well, she would come and sit in on rehearsal just so she can see what's going on so she wouldn't be behind. And that's just the kind of person that she was. And she enjoyed all of her movies. I worked on Romeo Must Die with her, and you know, she enjoyed acting. She enjoyed life and loved to live it to the fullest in her own way.
Yeah, let's talk about her album, because this was definitely a taking it to the next level for her, musically, lyrically, and in the shape her voice was in. She had some songs that dealt with some really serious topics. She had some songs that deal with serious topics on this latest album, Aaliyah. One having to do with abuse and how she won't take it anymore. Was she very kind of worldly aware, and where do you think that came from?
Aaliyah was very worldly aware of everything, you know, happening around her. I don't know of any personal things that have happened in her life. She didn't share that with me, if that came from the album, the particular song you're talking about. But Aaliyah was just very, very much so aware of everything going around, you know, around her. The producers and the writers that she worked with also were her very good friends, Static and Timberland, and you know, they would get into the studio and build just like we get into a dance studio and, you know, build on the music. They would get in and talk about life, and you know.
It was great to see. It was great to see her go from, you know, she'd been associated with Timberland, and Timberland did work on this last album, but also there seemed to be a lot more Aaliyah as she turned into a woman on this album as well.
Yeah, definitely. When people talk about, you know, it was great seeing her face and her hair, you know, just her face and her eyes. You know, Aaliyah was very young when she first came out, extremely shy. She hid behind the glasses. We finally got the glasses off. She hid behind the hair. We finally got the hair to go back, you know, and it took a little time, and I was really, you know, really looking forward to just seeing her blossom into more than a woman, you know. Indeed. That's her third single, More Than a Woman, and I just cannot emphasize how fabulous this young woman was.
From all accounts, that is indeed the case. We'll be back with more of BET Tonight right after this. Stay with us.
Tank landed, I think Tank's big land was in '97 when I landed the break singing Backgrounds with Genuine.
Okay.
And Aaliyah saw me working and was like, well, I'd like him to sing with me too, which was a blessing. And she hired me, so on that Budweiser Superfest, I was double gigging.
This program is brought to you by Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home.
Warning, intruder, alert. Warning, intruder.
Light, airy cones of crispy corn. There's no such thing as too many bugles. Bugles, more is better.
Twizzlers.
I have something very important to say to you all. Stop laughing, you're fired, and you're fired. My mustache is fired. No, please.
Hello. Twizzlers. Play first, eat later.
Worlds of wonder can be found, where colors jiggle and joy abounds. It seems the day is looking up. There's magic in each Jell-O cup. Jell-O gelatin makes some magic.
The JCPenney Labor Day sale. So good, nothing will get you down. Save 20 to 50% store-wide. Plus, save an extra 10% using your Pennies card. It's all inside. Smile on. JCPenney.
There's an amazing new taste coming to Long John Silver's. Our new flatbread sandwiches. The best new bread on the planet, our famous chicken or fish, and some incredible new ingredients. What's so new about them? Everything! 2 new flatbread sandwiches. It all starts September 3rd at Long John Silver's.
Walt Disney World is celebrating Walt's 100th birthday. And if anybody knows about making birthdays memorable, it's Hallmark. Right now at Hallmark, bring home a special part of Disney's celebration of 100 years of magic with a Hallmark Special Edition Water Globe. Only $12.95 when you buy 3 Hallmark cards.
Come on, Mickey, I'll show you to your room.
For a limited time, only at Hallmark.
Football season.
The roar of the crowd.
Perfect time to get an RCA DirecTV satellite dish and free installation from Radio Shack.
And NFL games from all around the country.
Cheering for your favorite player.
So you cheered for me when I played, huh, Terry?
Howie, I said favorite. Gotcha.
Now, when you order DirecTV with NFL Sunday Ticket, you get free installation in the first 4 months of Total Choice Platinum and Family Pack programming for only $44.75 a month. Radio Shack.
Don't you deserve to know the true story?
I worked for him, and I had to quit because he was having an affair with the secretary.
That's the one I see here, wavy hair, right?
Long, wavy hair, yes.
There she is. I had just turned the card when you were talking, and I saw her. He was a father very early, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He also had a child that passed over, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and this was a little girl, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There is a man, I see him round about you. I feel like he's a neighbor. You understand me?
Yes, he is.
Was he in the military when he was younger?
Yes.
Okay, let me take you back 5 months. He got out and cussed somebody out for taking him parking space, did you not?
Yeah, oh my Lord.
You were afraid the police were gonna get called on him.
I sure was.
He has an old rap sheet, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Cleo, you hit it on the head.
If your love life a struggle, the power of the tarot can help. Call me for your free reading now.
Call 1-800-931-4003.
Welcome back to BET Tonight. I'm Stephen Hill, and this is a tribute and a celebration, really, of the life of Aaliyah, who was tragically killed this weekend in a plane taking off from the Bahamas. And as we close, I'd just like to go around and ask people what they'd like to be, how they'd like Aaliyah to be remembered going forward. Let's start with the person referred to as Aaliyah's big sister, Fatima.
I like Aaliyah to be remembered as a role model for all young women who are out there trying to achieve their goals in life, to stay focused. You don't have to compromise yourself as a woman to do what you want to do, and to always just follow your dreams and be true to yourself and be humble and kind to other people, because it reflects, and it's a good thing. Aaliyah was a great person.
Fatima, thank you very much. I know she was like a family member to you, so we appreciate your time at this time. Kevin Taylor, BET producer.
On my way home from Baltimore yesterday, Stephen, I stopped and encountered a 72-year-old Irish man who asked me if I knew the young singer who died. And of course I had to share with him that I was just with her. And he said he had cried 3 times in his life: when he buried his mother, when they sprinkled his brother's ashes on his mother's grave, and that morning. And he did not know her, had nothing of her music, but he saw her face and knew that the world had lost somebody. And I really just was overwhelmed by that, you know, as I was talking about it, and, you know, having just spent those few days with her. She was a light. She was such a brilliant beam of light. The one regret that I have is that in one of the underwater scenes that she was doing for the video, Aaliyah, who is a very good swimmer, had to try to breathe underwater and couldn't. And so they were working with the regulator, and she got fearful going under. So my heart hurts because I know what Aaliyah's face looks like with fear. But I'm glad that the world has so many other images of her that shine her light, and that's what we really have to just keep illuminating. You know, there are a couple of more videos that have already been shot, and hopefully those will come forward, and the movies, and that somebody will continue to speak her name.
Fantastic. Kevin Taylor, Angie Stone, thank you very much for joining us as well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching the show tonight. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of BET Tonight. I'm Stephen Hill. Good night.
I was devastated. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you just never think. I know we all have to leave here at some point, but you never think it's gonna happen so soon at such a young age.
It makes you think about your life, you know, and how precious it is, you know. You never know when it's your time, and you know, you have to count each day as a blessing.
It's just so tragic that it was like right when it was at the